Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Vertical Take with Jennifer and Taha. Today we have the lovely Lukas Silva.
Great to be here. It's nice to meet both of you. It's been a bit, so
I can imagine. And this is episode number 16. So, congratulations on being number 16 on our Vertical Talk show.
wow. Thank you for giving me the honor. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. And I'm just going to
Yes.
dive right into it. So, Lukas, what first sparked your interest in acting?
It's a long convoluted story, but to like basically sum it up, I was in a resort area with my family in Puerto Vallarta. I was about 11 years old, and we were going on a Pirates of the Caribbean themed cruise ship. And lo and behold, one of the actors who was playing the cabin boy was not able to show up, and I was being like my spunky little extroverted self, and I was also a child. So I was talking to the guy who was playing Captain Jack Sparrow in the line while I was waiting to get on the ship, and he went up to my mom and he liked my attitude, and went up to my mom and asked like, "Hey, has he ever thought about doing something like on stage or acting? Why is he okay with crowds?" And she's, knowing me, I'm fine with crowds. I really rarely have any type of embarrassment to speak of. So he asked basically, would he be open to filling a vacancy that we have right now? And so she looked at me, I looked at her, I asked if it was okay. She said yes. And that was kind of how my first experience in acting that I'm very fond of happened. It was basically just like a wild coincidence and happened out of chance. But I got on stage, memorized the two or three lines that I had, and kind of just did what I wanted to do. I wasn't trained. I didn't have any background in it, but I didn't have any fear, and it was fun. It was something that I could do for the rest of my life. Of course, I'm more akin to film right now, but acting for me is acting regardless. If I'm able to be a different character or embody somebody else, then that is where I thrive and where my passion is.
Okay.
Such
Yeah.
an interesting story.
Um, so who have been your biggest influences along the way on your, yeah.
Well, my parents have been the primary ones. Their dedication to their crafts in general
Okay.
has helped me dedicate myself to acting, because it's such a crazy, unpredictable world that can go up and down in like 100 miles per hour so quickly. And actually, in a way of kind of like spite a little bit. I had a agent where I used to live before I moved to LA, and she was not the most supportive of me. And an aspect to where like she would talk good to my face, but talk bad behind my back.
Ooh, Snake.
Yeah, yeah, and that kind of was like a for me. It was like, okay, well, if you don't believe in me, I want to show you how much I can do without your help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the point to where it's because I come from like a small town where like it's not a thing to be an actor. It's a thing to be a middle class worker, construction trade worker, stuff like that. That's my town.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So to basically come from an area where it's unheard of to be anything in like a modeling or entertainment or acting aspect, and also just despite the first agent that I ever had, it was kind of just like a little thing for me. It kept me going on the days where like I really didn't want to do anything. It was mostly just like a
Yeah.
proving myself to my parents and just showing what she missed out on, and kind of representing me the best she could.
Have you spoken to her since?
Uh, Not directly to her, but I have to her kids, and we because her kids
Oh,
and I were actually, which was made it awkward because her kids and I were actually good friends. And
Mm.
it was kind of like it strained the relationship a little bit because now I had this kind of like resentment towards their parents. Unfortunately, we don't really let it get into our relationship that much, but they do tell me that she does keep up with a lot of my activities, which is great. That's exactly what I wanted. So
Yeah,
Hater
I
turned
agree
fan,
with
or
that.
hater stayed hater. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, she has her own life to live. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing with mine.
Yeah,
No,
yep.
absolutely. So, looking back, what's something about you that people might be surprised to learn?
So I had a lot of when I was a kid, I was actually overweight, and I had a lot of issues with that. It's just like representing myself, especially in like a vertical sense and a vertical aspect, because now it's all about like a lot of the vertical characters are very storybook like esque male figures that have like six packs and they're 6'2" and all that stuff and everything. So where it's like I had little to no confidence in my overall being until I personally went down my goal of like bettering myself for my health and my mental health and everything. I had a lot of insecurities, and I still do have some insecurities, but a lot of it stemmed from the fact that I didn't feel comfortable in the way I looked. And I think people would be just surprised because I come off as like a very like foreboding, confident man. I carry myself well, and I know what I'm worth and who what my values are. So I think the thing that people will be most surprised about is that I was very much the opposite of that. And whether or not it would have changed as I grew up, I can't say. But what I do know is that I took it into my own hands and helped myself progress the way that I think has benefited me the most.
Mm,
That's amazing because believe it or not, that is a very difficult thing to do,
it is.
especially like you said, you did it on your own. And it's interesting because as a woman, it's like we have our insecurities, especially when it comes to like weight and things like that. And to speak to a man that is, went through insecurities as well, it's kind of interesting to see that because, like you said, I mean, usually men are like confident and they're you know, just like you said, and
Emotionless. They don't cry. They gotta be stiff,
yeah.
strong.
But
So, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's yeah.
No,
So,
I mean,
Well,
it's something. I mean, I feel like it's something that a lot of us deal with, especially with the encompassing fact of like our existence of social media and like the prize of way you look over on that and everything. I mean, the amount of filters and the amount of everything that you can put, and like even with AI now, just editing, full on editing videos and photos and making it not even look like yourself. It has a lot of identity crisis and displacement for that, for sure. But I mean, honestly, if you wake up every day and you can look at yourself in the mirror and be happy with yourself, I mean, that's really what matters. I mean, you don't need to impress anybody else.
yeah, no,
yeah.
absolutely.
But yeah, it does get hard, scrolling through social media because they only put out what the good stuff. So it's like, when you're scrolling through and you're constantly seeing beautiful people, it's like, so yeah.
That's why it's like so essential. It's so essential to go and touch grass because it's like
Yes.
it's not it's you really get wrapped up into it, especially like I have like being in LA and everything. I have a lot of friends who are content creators, and they're
Mhm.
so enthralled in this world of curated content that is it's highlight reels. Like it's the best part of the dirtiest things, and that's all you ever see. So it's like unless there's like a content creator out there that like, which I do see a trend of it happening right now, where people are just like they're just setting up their phones and just recording no matter how they look and everything like that. They're just creating more of like a relatable barrier breakdown, which is I think is very essential to like the new like children growing up, seeing that like you don't have to be curated like that 24/7. But like that's a whole nother topic we could talk about. So
Well,
Um,
like Anthony said, you're a sexy, handsome individual. So just use that and throw it at those insecurities.
thank you though. I appreciate it.
No worries.
so when you're preparing for a role, do you have a go-to process that you rely on? Is there any?
I read through it once just to get my character's general arc.
Hmm.
And I usually don't touch it until until before the scenes, actually, because when I have a general character arc for me, whether it's a leader or supporting or something like that, I have the general undertones that I need to build like a framework, like a base for the character. And other than that, I heavily believe that like the catch line that acting is reacting, I doesn't my work, I will build, if I focus on it too much, if I try to drone on it too much, I will build another persona for the person I'm acting with that I don't know if that's how they're going to act or if that's how they're going to portray their character. So I feel like the best prep I can do is making sure that I have my character's emotional arcs down
Hmm.
and then go from there with the person that I'm with. Because memorizing, I have an eidetic memory, so
Oh, okay.
I read it once forward, once backwards, then once forward, and it's done.
Mm.
So I can kind of cheat with that. If that's why, like, I can prep the scenes very quickly, easily, and
Yeah.
it lets me be able to focus on how my partner is going to be reacting in the scene. So I have no preconceived notions on what they're going to do.
Your secret
Gotcha.
superpower.
It's definitely my little cheat code, without a doubt, especially because like these verticals are super fast little boot camps. So I think
15
it's good.
pages a day. That's crazy.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you could do 20 if you want.
Yeah, I think someone said they did 28 in one day. Was that Autumn? I forgot
It
who it
might have
was.
been,
It
yeah.
might have been
Yeah, I
Autumn.
don't.
I was like, 28 pages? Wow.
Good for her. Good for her.
Crazy.
That was not me. Nope.
Mm,
Not even with your intellectual superpower.
Now I have limits.
yeah.
Got it. So, Lucas, out of all the roles you've taken on, which one pushed you the hardest as an actor?
I think it's honestly, I don't think it's out yet, but there is a
Okay.
role where it's like I'm like that. I'm the villain arc that's happening right now in the verticals where they're kind of like really oppressive to the female lead, like overly oppressive to the female lead. And
Hmm.
I was raised with very like traditional values in the sense that like women are like goddesses and to be cherished and nurtured and stuff like that. So like it literally goes against my core. I was also raised by my mom majority of the time, so I'm a mom's boy,
Mhm.
and it goes against like a lot of the values I've stemmed from to like I know it's a character and that's the separation you always need to make as an actor, but it doesn't make it any like easier to do that to somebody or be that oppressive to somebody. So I think it's more just the overall sense of like having to be that oppressive towards any type of female.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and and I know this isn't one of the questions that we gave you, and so you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but how do you feel about this direction that it seems like some of the verticals are going as far as being, because like you said, I was raised where a man doesn't hit a woman,
Mm.
Mhm.
but in these verticals, it's happening. And I'm just like, yeah, no, no. And some of them I've seen them punch. And I'm like, and
Mhm.
of course I know women shouldn't be hitting men either. I mean, it's both ways. But how do you navigate that direction of where it seems? I mean, I know not all verticals are like that, but it just seems like there's a lot more toxic storylines that are happening these days.
There's a prevalency of it for sure. I've been able to avoid them for the most part. I've done
Okay.
like maybe one or two roles where it's like that, but I've actually seen, and well, apparently for me, what I've been told is I have a nice guy face. Like I don't have like an overly stoic, like super masculine face. I have a masculine face, but it's like it's comforting. It's a comforting masculine face rather than like an overly stoic masculine face. So there's been this trend actually where the love triangles that happen in the verticals, where there's usually like the manipulative lead guy, and then there's the
Yeah.
nice good guy, and then she chooses the manipulative lead guy. It's actually been switching to where like the past 3 to 4 I've done, I've been like the triangle, but she's ended up with the nice guy that treats her well, and it's more of like a female empowerment thing, kind of like her choosing what is best for her and her son or her daughter family at the end of the story.
Yeah.
So I do see kind of, at least from the ones that I'm being given. Of course, like I could be in my own niche because I am separate from like those characters. But from what I'm seeing, they're responding to the fact that people, especially like the US audience that's not like too keen on that, they're responding to that and kind of switching to more like a female empowerment type thing. They're trying that type of genre right now. So it performs well, then that's probably what we'll see a lot more in the future. But I would prefer for that to happen, especially because like a lot of the times when the I would just say when the abuse towards women happens in the scripts, it's not really like even if it's purposeful, even if it has a purpose, it's still a lot, but it kind of just seems purposeless sometimes for it to happen. It's kind of just thrown in there, and I know that's for shock value, but there is other ways to shock people.
Of course, put a twist in there.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna put my feminism hat on, and I'm gonna say, F all of them. You do you. Go, you know, make your own path. Screw all of them.
Yeah.
Feminism hat taken off. Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why I brought that up is because being that I am out there like in the vertical community, because I have my own like review page and I talk to other people that are all other ladies um that write reviews as well, and that is like the big thing that they're always talking about is just like I was in a group, and every time a vertical would come out, the first thing they would say is, okay, well, it's got bullying in it again, or the guy was just, or there was just the guy was horrible, was like a narcissist or something like that, and it was like, so that was what I was constantly hearing. So that's why, I always like to get the input. But well, I mean, it's good that they're going away from that.
Well, it's also subjective from platform to platform too. Like I feel like Good Short does a lot more like family friendly, women empowering ones. That's the one that I've been doing it for. Real Short is a little bit like racy right now with their type of content.
Let's not even get into them.
Yeah, and then Drama Box seems to be like treading everything. To be honest with you, they kind of seem to be like just branching out everywhere.
Well, Drama Box is affiliating themselves with, is it Disney or is it Pixar?
Disney.
It was Disney's startup program, but yeah, no, it was a Disney startup program. I think it's like they choose 4 companies and they choose to like fund them or something. I'm not like a Drama Box exec, so I can't speak on that too much. But they definitely made like a big deal about it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Good for them.
How does your approach shift when you're playing a lead character versus stepping into a supporting role?
Well,
is there like
the supportings for the verticals and the leads for the verticals are very, very different than they would be for like a film or a TV show. So when you're a lead, obviously there's a lot riding on your performance and how the production value is going to go, and that's regardless across any platform. But supporting is the thing that's drastically different in my mind, because when they have a supporting in verticals, like you're a supporting, like there's no arc, there's rarely any like significant arc or like any significant pain point to your character. You're legitimately there to just push the lead and wherever they're going to be ending up to. So that's what I would think would be like the different thing. I build the supporting character to literally say, okay, what is their significant points in this story that is very crucial that I need to deliver across. Like say if I'm a villain, like I need to be super villainy in the area where I'm like either kidnapping the lead or I'm beating up the lead guy or something like that. And or if I'm the love triangle guy and I need to be very like aggressive with the lead dude, and so like no, I'm going to treat her right and I'm going to be here, and there's more points like that rather than like if it was traditional media to where a supporting would more veer off to their own character arc that would then intertwine with the leads rather than them just like being a side piece for the lead. So that's like, but that's, I mean, I guess that would be the different prep for me. Like in the lead, you're literally main character energy, like that the world is built around you. And for supporting, I do my best to make sure that my performance is as organically supportive to the lead as it can be. So because at that point I'm basically like they're basically the king and queen and I'm like their knight or bishop.
Yeah, that makes sense. but there have been times when the supporting roles have been more popular than the leads. I mean, I've seen where, people have been like, I like that character more than the main character. So yeah.
Oh, there's time that
Um,
outshine it. When I do a lot of the love triangle ones, they're actually like, oh, I wanted Jason to win, or oh, I wanted Brandon to get it. And those are the comments. Like it's like this should have happened for them. I know, like I definitely but that's why I think it's like for me, if I build up the roles like that, I'm not saying where like there's no significance to it. But I mean, like, and at the end of the day, comparing it
yeah,
to like the knights, kings, and bishops, stuff like that, like, or a king and a queen cannot survive without their knight and the bishop. Like, it's a
exactly.
crucial part that needs to exist.
Mhm.
Is there a support element there? Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why they're there. But without them, the king and queen can't thrive and survive.
Nope. No, absolutely. I mean, I used to be mean and I used to call all the supporting male leads second fiddle. But that's just me being me. But you're right. It's just like a cell. You need the mitochondria, you need the nucleus, you need the ribosome. The cell cannot thrive with all the little organelles, you know. So, of
We're community based. I mean, as humans, we're community based. I mean,
course.
a coffee shop can't run without the people who deliver the coffee, and then
Mhm.
the baristas that make it, and the manager that runs it. Like, I mean, everything is community based. I mean, even the fact that we're doing this right now, someone created this so that way we can talk to each other.
Of course.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, has there ever been a supporting role that turned out to be equally fun or meaningful to you?
There was like, so there was a point in Verticals. It was like early. It was in January. I was actually like my first time I went to China to film actually,
Okay.
and it was the point where like the male villains weren't like as oppressive. They were they were second fiddles to the female villains, and
Mm.
it was really fun because they were super petty. Like they were never the guy that to do actually the really horrible stuff. Like the villainess in mine, like she killed the main girl's mom and daughter in like one fell swoop, right? And then I'm over here being a petty little boy, just like basically throwing empty threats around and being like, "Why are you here? You're messing up my throne room." Like, and it's just being a little like sassy man, pretty much. And I
Yeah.
think those are my fun. Those are my favorite. Those were my favorite villains to do when it was like the guy who had all the bark and none of the bite, because it was funny to get. It was great to be like caught up on things when you were like trying to be this macho guy and like this because and then this because the girl that at least that was on my set she was like 5'3", 5'4", and then with heels like 5'6", and I'm 6'2", so I'm like 6'4" with like shoes and stuff like that, and it's crazy because it's more of it's a challenge for me because I then need to be very like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this, to like this really aggressive small girl coming at me. It's because I have no backbone, and it's like it's just a really fun little character to play.
Gotcha.
It's funny how you say that because I remember watching one of your early verticals and it was like a company one. I don't know. You were technically the male lead, but you were defending the company CEO owner and you were just so petty. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, so you don't have any proof of this and I have this. And I was just like,
Okay, yeah.
why is he being so petty? I don't know. I forgot the name. It was a while back, but you were real petty.
I've done a bit. I've done a bit of those, yeah. So I was just, but no, it's funny. It's great. You're just like, what is this guy?
Yeah, it's funny, nice fresh breath of air.
So this is what we kind of was talking about. Have you noticed audiences sometimes responding more strongly to one of your supporting roles than a lead?
Yeah, I think especially now, actually, like with the genres being so like repeated, that
Mhm.
they do switch out the supporting characters and what the supporting characters do sometimes, and that being like the only like really refreshing thing that happens in some of the tropes right now. People tend to focus on that more than they do like the lead stories aspect because it's something different. Like there might still be a supporting, it might have not have a huge amount of significance, but because it is something fresh and something like vibrant and something that people really latch onto that. Like there's a werewolf one that I just did that's going to be coming out that is not like a normal supporting character arc that I've done before. It's a love triangle one, but it's very distinct from like the ones that I've done before, and I think it's like going to be a standalone part from the show when it does come out.
Okay.
Interesting. We will definitely stay tuned for that. A werewolf love triangle. Interesting. So, Lucas, you've played the best of both worlds.
Mhm.
Do you prefer to play the hero or the villain, and why?
Well, that's very subjective. Like I said, if I get to be petty, I'll probably very much do the villain. But like,
Oh yeah, like in that conference room. Oh, you don't have the key. I have the key. I have it right here.
exactly, yeah. It's for no reason. It's just for no reason. It's like there's just something wrong with them for no reason, and it's like
Yeah.
that's the pointless thing. That's the pointless type of stuff I love in the verticals. When the petty villains are just petty because they're petty. Like there's
Well,
no
you don't
reason.
have a backstory for them. That's the
Yeah.
problem. If there was a backstory, then maybe people would be able to, cave in and feel a little bit of remorse. Well, not remorse, like empathy towards their character. But it's like they woke up and they're in the vertical and they're like, I'm gonna be a bitch to you.
Yeah.
you know?
There's two ways that it can happen. If verticals start gearing more towards plot driven stuff than shock value, then I definitely see that having its place for this right now. Because shock value is such a big thing, the fact that they're just petty is like a good little comedy relief at the point, to be honest. Especially depending on like the source topic, because I know there is some verticals out there that are very like heavy like topics that they're placed on. But the heroes, like, okay, there's one that also is not. I'm doing a lot of like ADR and like back post production stuff for it right now. It's not out yet, but it's a pilot one, and it's a very cute, like my favorite genre that I've been doing for this, like the Million Reasons to Love a Prince and Daddy and Mommy Don't Divorce, and this one that's coming out and all that stuff. I very much love rom-coms just because of the awkward sense of like connection that they have in them. So if I also get to play a hero that has this like kind of like a taken off of his high horse type of thing, to where he needs to kind of, it's not like he was neglectful of her, but it's more so that like he is in an area where he has never been comfortable before. And that's kind of like the area where this character was in, the one that's going to be coming out. He was always raised in this like comfortable sense of life, to where he's then met this woman that he doesn't know what to do with because he's never had this like feeling before. So I think it's more just like hero characters that have some type of more depth other than stoicism, because stoicism is great and all and everything. I mean, I can mog the camera all day if I need to, but I am an actor, so I would love to have some type of like any type of like depth in my heroic story arcs.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. It's your playground.
Yeah.
So, and the only reason why, because I know you've had verticals that are after this one, but this was one that you actually were a main in. How did you first get involved with Professor I'm Dating is a Billionaire?
That one, I was
Title.
also in China again for that one. Yeah, I was also in China again. I'm in China a lot whenever I like book something. It's nice. It's a good follow up. But I was a lead on that project, so I was super sleep deprived. And I was just following out with them, and I was following up with them, and we did the audition. You know, as for me at least, when I do an audition, it's gone, it's done. Like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like I can't fester on that, because then I will lose my mind. So I sent the audition out, and then they called back like a day or two after, because they're very quick with their bookings, and they said, "Hey, can we do a callback?" I said, "Of course." And then, and this is funny. So we're setting up the callback. The night before the callback, I'm pretty avidly into like fitness, and I was posting a back workout that I was doing that night of. The producer likes the post, right? And then I wake up in the morning and they just say, "Hey, do you want the role?"
I mean, yeah, of course I want the role.
Yeah.
Why you
Yeah,
asking
and
me?
it was like, hey, do you want the role? I'm like, oh yeah, what made that decision? And they're like, well, we already know you can act, and we saw your workout video, so like, you want it? I was like, okay. I
They
mean,
should have
once
said,
they know I can act. That's what I took first. Like, of course, like
Yeah.
the physique's there, but they
yeah,
know I can act. So that's the placement that I was caring about. But it was a nice little like compliment sandwich to wake up to.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I would have been like,
After
okay, you're
watching,
selected. Not even ask if you wanted it, because if you didn't want it, you wouldn't be auditioning for it in the first place. That's kind of ed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nice to like. Sometimes it's like as an actor, you don't. And sometimes like the actor, there's like a lot of areas where you don't get like a lot of interest, and then there's areas where you do get a lot of interest. So when you get the
Yeah.
action, it's like, do you want this role? It's very rare when the actor has the decision to make the like crucial decisions and everything, because there's so many pain points, even in fittings or how scenes are laid out or auditions and callbacks and stuff like that, where the actor gets to choose anything.
Yeah.
So, of course, like I mean, if you say like this is your role, like we're choosing you, I love that too. Now, like it's like I'm prized, but at the same point, if I
yeah.
have a choice in the matter, it does make me it gives me a source of like, oh wow, this is one of the rare opportunities where I get to say yes or no to something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Lucas, your character in both The Professor and A Billionaire, very different worlds.
Mm.
How did you go about portraying the balance?
See, it's interesting because there was obviously that connection between me and my female co-star
Mm-hmm.
that I can't like overly exploit in school or in the areas where she needs to be professional in.
Yeah.
And then there's also the area to where it's like being a billionaire and being, I would say, kind of like just in a different level of life, because when you get to that like status of income, which will all be when you get to that status of income, you have a different way of like looking at life. I mean,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
there's there's a there's a
Agreed.
very there's very little pertinence to anything that you need to do. You can just exist and then be like how that is.
Yeah.
So it was like a balance of like having that nonchalant, oh, I've made it in life, versus like,
Mhm.
oh, this is a girl that was my student, and I've always kind of had a thing for that I can now build with. And it's kind of like a new adventure, because when you're a billionaire, when you're successful, when you're made in anything in life, and you kind of like get to settle down and stuff, you always look for like a new adventure or a new person to be with, or a new like some like where it's like something exciting in your life. And that's basically like what she was to my character. She was a very intricate woman that was challenging to me, and it was something that I had to grow to adjust to her spunkiness and her talkback character. And it was something that, especially as like a guy with money, you rarely if ever get talked back to. So it's nice to have like one of your students be the one to
Yeah.
do that for you and be like, oh, okay, do I like this?
Yeah. Um,
That's funny.
actually didn't realize that that actress was in that one. I had just watched one with her and oh my God, I can't remember his name. Jake something.
Jake
And
Thomas.
no, not him. It was Jake. It starts Jake and it starts with a G. He's a young guy. But anyway, she
Oh,
had
I
been
think
in that. Yeah. So, but anyway, she played one of those kind of like naive, kind of clumsy, kind of roles, and um, seeing her in this one. Now, of course, I only went and kind of skimmed through it a little bit just so I could get a feel of it. I'll
Mhm.
watch it later. Um, but it,
I ain't got time for that.
but but anyway, but yeah, I really like her as an actress. I was glad to see her in that one, and um, but yeah, so
All right, Jennifer.
No, she's great.
um,
So I'm glad
yeah,
I'm glad I was able to work with her. That's also the thing I like about verticals. They're so short and quick that you get to bounce from set to set. And if you're lucky
Hmm.
enough, I personally like meeting new people. Like, so if you're lucky enough, you get to work with new actresses and new other people, new crew and everything like that. Every time, and you get to work with so many different varieties of talent and like personalities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, so between the academic side and the wealthy side of the character, which did you personally connect with more?
Academic.
I don't know if I can choose a side for that. I mean, I'm academically thorough in my life. Like besides when I'm doing acting and entertainment and stuff like that, I do finance. I have two businesses. I studied anatomy and
Okay.
physiology and culinary and all that stuff. So it's like I'm very academically sound outside of the acting world in general. But
Mhm.
finances have also been something that have been very like prevalent in my life as like just because I am an only child, so I put a lot of pressure on myself to be financially sound right now in my point, and then to where I can then build it up to then of course retire my parents and make sure that they can live the lives that they gave up because they had
Yeah.
me. And it's no one's saying that has to be my duty, but I've chosen that to become my duty. So I'd say that both they go hand in hand for me. The more academically sound I am, the more open to finances I am.
No, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I relate to you 100% on that.
The only child
Because,
too.
No, 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 no. On the finance part and all the
Yeah,
other stuff.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the oldest.
Oh, that means you got all the fun trial run stuff, huh?
Um, I like to, I like to leave my worries and hop on a plane and go somewhere.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what I
going
do
on,
every
man.
month.
Fiji sounds real nice right about now,
Yeah. um. Okay, so if you wake up tomorrow with your character's billionaire lifestyle, what is the very first thing you would buy?
huh? See, because I'm financially sound, this is just gonna be really boring. I'm probably just gonna
Yeah,
buy real estate. Like
I
it's
would have. I
nothing
would have
wrong with
done the
that.
same thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
rent out properties, flip houses, do all that crap, man. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'll probably do it in like, and this is totally off topic. This is actually just something I learned while I was in China.
hmm
Uh, And so apparently Dubai has like a lot of housing open markets right now, and it's
Yep.
at 0% tax right now to incentivize
Yes.
investors and people to move there. So like
No,
that
Abu
would be the
Dhabi
first
too.
place I'd be going. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, no, I was back. I was there back in end of February, beginning of March, and my family actually did buy some apartments. With they took yeah, they took advantage of that. So I know exactly where you're coming from with that. It's a really good investment because the Middle East, yeah, they're known for being rich with oil, but natural resources only, you know, they only last so long. So
Yeah.
now they're getting into like, infrastructure, entertainment, balance, and the United Arab Emirates is they're on top of their game when when it's coming to that right now. They're
Yeah.
doing
And it's also that's where like that's like that's the fancy rich place of the world. So if you
it
get
is
caught
right now.
before that gets built up, perfect.
Yeah, it's bigger than Hollywood right now, like actual Hollywood, California, like Calabasas.
Yeah.
It's more hotter over there, yeah.
Yeah.
Got
So,
real off topic there.
No, I think it was totally on topic. We're talking about what we do with our money.
Mm, true.
um, so do you think people experience stories differently on a phone screen compared to a cinema screen?
Oh, without a doubt. That's yeah. I mean, there's no comparison to that at all. Like, I mean, this is meant to just like be here, and it's very like captivating in its own sense and stuff like that. I mean, it's harder for people to break away from something like that than it is to sit in a like even if you're sitting in your house and watching like a 80 screen inch TV, you're like what like 15 20 feet away at minimum from your TV usually, and it's stuff where you can like experience the world around you. When you're in your phone, more often than not, people have headphones on as well, and then they have their phone like
Hmm.
this close to their face, so it's something to where
Yeah.
it's like the immersion level is completely different, and that's why it's like
Yeah.
that's why I do think like at least what a lot of people call vertical acting eyebrow acting. because like the face is like right here in the phone screen,
Mhm.
and you need to like be overly expressive to keep people immersed in this like little screen that's in your face. But they for sure definitely like experience it differently.
Hmm.
And I wonder if,
Yeah.
do you think that maybe that was the cause of like because of COVID, with like the rise of like TikTok, the rise of like reels and stuff? Because I mean, it's nothing for myself to just be like laying in bed scrolling through TikTok, just going to the next video. And so, like you said, you've got your phone directly in front of your face. It's like, yeah,
It's just it's ease of access for entertainment, and that's just like what it's become. That's why like a lot of people like I'm not gonna go down that road. It's just been becoming more like easily accessible form of entertainment. That's pretty much all it's been. Like you don't have to get in your car and go drive to a movie theater and buy tickets and buy popcorn and go find your seat
facts.
and do all that stuff. You can just open your phone and pop something up and do it from wherever you want because it's always
Yeah.
with you.
Like I said, I
I
like to
don't
say
know.
the world is in the palm of your hands nowadays with
No, seriously. Like
technology
my,
and everything.
I
Yeah.
told you about like the businesses and everything that I'm running. Like it's literally just on my phone.
Yeah.
Like
Literally.
of course, if I need a bigger screen for like meetings like this, I'll use the
Yeah, of
laptop.
course.
But like even that, I mean, I have a laptop satchel that I just like keep around me, and then I just still bring that with me. It's
Yeah.
it's it's the thing that
Yeah.
like a lot of people take for granted, and the fact that like you really can do you really can do whatever you want whenever you want if you have access to a cellular device and data.
Literally. That's what COVID taught us,
Exactly.
definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean the amount of people that exist just off of like their businesses that they've created online, and the fact that these shows only exist because we have this immediate access to our phones. I mean, and that's my personal opinion. If they went through theaters and stuff like that, they never would have taken off. People
Hell
wouldn't have,
no, they would not.
yeah, no, people wouldn't have had the attention span or like want to do it.
Exactly. Like even when I
You
play
know,
a vertical, I'm just listening to it and I'm like, oh, what happened? Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
doing what I need to do.
well,
Yeah.
but I went to the movie theaters for the first time since COVID back in February, and it is so different to go see a movie now. It's like all I had to do was buy the tickets online, went to the theater. Nobody was even checking my tickets. Like nobody scanned my tickets. I just walked into the theater. So technically I didn't have to buy tickets because nobody checked them. And when I walked in there, it was like there was maybe 10 people in there because I guess because everybody's streaming stuff online, and even now it's like things are not even going into the cinemas. It's like going straight to Prime. It's like, going straight to streaming.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a differentiating factor for that. Sometimes like the How to Train Your Dragon movie, that was only in cinemas, like it literally said only in theaters for like a month or two, basically, and then it
Yeah.
starts going to streaming. It basically just depends on like when they do all the back testing in like Hollywood and stuff like that, and if they think it's worth putting into theaters and stuff. Like Sinners wasn't available for streaming for like 3 months because it was doing
Mhm.
so well in the box office and everything like that. So it's definitely like a lot of back testing in that area, but no, it's also like the theater. The one separation that theater got from like watching it on your phone or something like that was the human interaction.
Yeah.
Was like was seeing the ticket checkers, was seeing all the people with their families and their kids, and everyone being happy to like go sit down and watch the theater as like a movie as like a community and stuff like that. Now it's kind of like it's not as enticing to sit down in a theater in an
Hmm.
empty theater. I mean, unless you want to feel like you have your own home theater, which does feel bougie, but it gets tired after a while because then you can
Yeah,
have
it
your own home
does.
theater at your home with your TV. So
Exactly.
you don't
Exactly.
need to do that.
You can
Yeah.
make anything a home theater. You don't even need a TV, a projector, and your
Yeah, you can
phone.
project.
You're
Actually,
good.
projector's probably better because if you find a far enough white wall, you can have a huge screen.
Exactly. There you go. So, Lucas, if your own life was a vertical series right now, what would you name it?
Yeah, this is the one question I looked at that I could not think of a name for. Uh, all right, let's see. The future billionaire's forgotten heir.
I like that.
Oh, okay.
I like that. Means
It's
that
not
you're
crazy
believing in
like some of
yourself.
these
You're going to become
verticals.
a billionaire, and
Hmm.
that you're, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, seems a
Yep.
little concise and
Yeah,
everything like that. It
every
has all
little
the
bit.
things.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Um, okay, so we were talking about this earlier. Fitness and men's health seem to be important to you. How do they influence your work as an actor? Got it.
They built like dedication that I had pre-existing before I got into acting. Because when I started being fit, when I started getting into fitness, I was 14, and when I
Mhm.
like actually started getting into acting, I was like 18.
Mm.
So I had this sense of like belonging and consistency to myself, and already knowing what it felt like to be disciplined and to have consistency and to basically have respect for myself for what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because acting is in of itself a very convoluted career path to choose. You need to be delusional to
Yeah.
think that you're going to make it, and that's also side note. That's what I love about anybody in the entertainment industry. Everyone's delusional in their own sense, and it's fantastic, but not the point. So being into and then being into men's health or men's mental health is just I feel like that's just not a, like you said, like like men don't cry or feel or anything like that. And it's an aspect of where it's like I'm very in touch with my emotions. Like honestly, I've been told like I there's been scenes in verticals where I have unintentionally started crying in a scene, and the
Oh
director's like,
wow.
"Cut! What are you doing? You're supposed to be like emotionless. No, you're not crying here. The girl's crying." And I'm like, "Oh, you're right. Sorry. Let me suck up my emotions real quick." And so that's things where it's like, and it's not. I've learned from the experiences in my life that it's very. It is not a shameful thing.
No.
It's not a shameful thing, but and this is the thing, was it's not even just for men. Like I have a lot of friends that are girls in my life, and they're embarrassed to cry.
No.
It's an aspect where it's like that was interesting to me because I always thought, societally wise, that was something that was widely accepted for women to
Yeah.
do. But depending on the upbringing, women have been shamed for it, for them being weak too, especially because like there's this whole social media has pushed a like girl boss era type thing to where
Yeah.
Yeah.
then women are taking on heavy roles of like their own form of like toxic masculinity, except it's internally toxic to themselves because
Yeah.
now they're seen as like they can't have these emotions that women naturally have, and they can't cry or feel anything. They need to be one to make the monies and everything, which of course if you want to get your dough, go get your dough, but
Of course.
everyone's a human being, and everyone's going to be feeling something at every point of the day. I mean, you're never going to wake up sunshine and rainbows 24/7. It might end your day like that, or you might start your day and then end your day differently. I mean, you have
Yeah.
what, like usually around like at most 18 hours to for something to change during a
Yeah.
day. But like totally off topic though. What those two things really attributed to my acting was I value my mental health and my general health. So I
Yeah.
always make sure that that is never compromised, even for my passion, which is acting. If there was ever a point where I felt like it was being compromised, I would need to step back and then reevaluate my life and what's important to me. Because
Yeah.
I have been fortunate enough to fall into this Hollywood industry, especially like such a trying times with like the strikes and COVID and everything like that, and then having this like honestly like for so many people in this industry saving grace that's called verticals, whether or not they're cheesy right now or not, it's giving people some type of homestead to call their place of starting or being.
Hmm.
And I think the fact that I've curated my health and that my mental health has helped me stay in the running and remain strong with my fortitude in such a unbalanced industry. And it's
Yeah.
also where it's like you really need to work for yourself. You really need to work for yourself. Like getting an agent or a manager, at least in my experience, doesn't do anything. And it
Just
does like
giving them money for no reason. You could do all of it yourself.
I do. No, I have never.
I'm just
No,
saying.
I have booked one short film in the 4 years I've been here, from a agent or a manager. And for my own work, I've booked 3 feature films, 5 commercials, and over 30 plus verticals.
Wow.
Amen.
So it's the thing. It's the thing where it's like it's also it really just shows like the drastic, like I mean it's also at the end of the day it's your dream. Oh, yeah, agent or manager is
Yeah.
there because they basically, in my opinion, they gatekeep the really high prestigious roles that everyone wants. Which of course you need a gatekeeper for something like that, or else like people from wherever would submit whenever, and just because they think they could do, just because they think they could do it. So of course they're there for a reason. But if you start relying on them, then you really you might just end up being a server here. You might be a really good server, a good looking server too, but you'd be a really good connected server. That's
I don't know. Somebody we were talking to one actress who was serving drinks when before she got started, and she was serving drinks to um famous people. So
there's Hail Marys where like say you met Matthew McConaughey or someone like that, and they had a movie that
yeah,
had a role for you that they could then put you in, and they're executive producer and everything. So they're making the final decision and they want you in that. That is a Hail Mary for you being a server and knowing that person. But
Yeah.
the levels that you need to go through to get anything moving in Hollywood, I don't know. In verticals, it's pretty rudimentary. It's still new, so you audition,
Hmm.
you call back, you usually book. But in Hollywood, like if it's anything significant or substantial or anything
yeah,
like that, there's producers, executive producers, studio heads, directors, costume fittings, your family, if your family looks like you that they've cast or anything like that. There's so many levels and layers where if you're not avidly going out there for yourself and putting yourself out there in the way you need to, and you're just working a normal job, hoping that your agent or manager will get you in the door, they might get you auditions. They might get you auditions, but that is, I'd say, like 0.5% of the process. Before I moved here, like even me like even me learning like a little bit when I was in my like construction town and everything,
yeah,
I had very little knowledge of like what it really took to just actually like get through any of the layers to even get in student films.
Mm.
And
yeah,
it's something to where it's like it's not common knowledge to people who aren't in this industry. Like a lot of the times you think, oh, okay, so I want to be an actor, I can just go out for roles and book them, right? That's how it works.
yeah.
Or like I can get representation and they'll get me roles, right? That's how it works. Because that's kind of like how it's built up to be, because it's such a secretive levelistic society in entertainment. There's a reason why so many of the vertical actors that you guys are going to be talking to and have talked to were servers or were doing some type of normal job or anything like that.
Hmm.
Like I have a business sense, so I was already always running my businesses aside from acting, so I never had to take on a normal job. But
Hmm.
basically, I took on a 24/7 job because that's what a business owner is. But
Yes.
Yeah,
I do think like in my opinion, without verticals, a lot of the people that are vertical stars right now, I'm not saying they wouldn't have made it in their own time, but like Tess Din, Casey S, or Eric Gilman, or any of these people, stuff like that are, I mean, Eric kind of was a book cover model, so he doesn't count. But like the a lot of the other people like Casey Esser, I don't you guys talked to him, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure from what I've heard about him, he was like a fitness trainer beforehand, like he was still trying
We
to
had
get
Esters.
acting.
Hmm.
So, and now he's one of the biggest vertical names on the planet. He makes more than enough living for him to do whatever he needs to do with his
Yeah.
life, and that is because of this new media that's existed. Without this, so many actors, like including myself, would have been taking the decades-long road to get that minimal amount of acceptance that hopefully would have been able to spiral into some type of long-standing career at the end of the day. So the amount of like thanks and gratitude that I personally have for this industry, like I said, whether it's cheesy or not, will never be undervalued.
So going back to what you're saying, because like I said, this is all off topic or whatever like that, but that is kind of interesting because I have seen a lot of like the book cover models getting into verticals, almost like it's kind of like their way to get into bigger things. Like it's kind of like that link between the modeling to the bigger picture. I've even seen people that this is gonna make me look bad, but I've seen like adult film stars. I don't know if you know that are in
Oh God.
verticals right
No, I know
now.
they
Yeah.
So
cast only fan
We're
models.
aware of
yeah,
that.
so it's like verticals are kind of like that medium that's like between what they were doing to the big stuff. So I can see what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's
It's a
also it's like I
channel
mean,
way.
hmm?
I said it's like a channel way, and it's like stepping
Exactly.
stones.
Yeah, and it's also like a way. It's like a good way for them to test if they want to do acting in general too, because a
Yeah.
lot of them, like you said, are models. They've never acted before,
Nope.
so
Hmm.
and that's like the area where it's like, oh, they can do this for a week, see if they like it, and if they don't, then they're like, oh, well, I made some money, whatever, and then they'll just go do something else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's like, no, yeah, anybody who's anybody is like doing these verticals right now. Like I've worked with adult film star directors, I've worked with documentary directors, I've worked with models that have just moved here from like Germany or anything like that and had no access to acting. I've worked with people that are from Montana that literally have just moved here and aren't actors or models. They're just moving here and they're new.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
that's where it was like saying this is like an entry point for so many people to like actually at least try it, and like you said, get like you said, Taha, get paid for it, which is an unheard of opportunity in all of existence of Hollywood.
Exactly. It's something new indeed. So, do you think the discipline it takes to stay fit mirrors this discipline needed for acting?
No,
Okay.
and I don't think it mirrors that at all because when you're caring about your fitness and your health, it's you against you. When
Mm,
you're caring about your discipline for acting, it's you against everybody else.
yeah.
And that's even like that's why also why you have to be careful when you choose your agents and managers too, because if they have a roster of like any people that look like you, you're not the first on their roster.
No, you're
They're
not.
sending out other people in front of you. And then if they don't choose those people, then they'll send you out, which could mean that your agent is literally against you too.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
I think you need more of a discipline. In my opinion, you need more of a discipline. You need more discipline to succeed in acting or to make any progress in acting because you're fighting so many other obstacles than you would be if you were doing
Yeah.
fitness for yourself. Like there's been like with COVID when the gyms were closed, I worked out at my house every time I needed to work out. And if I needed to get food and I didn't have access to a car or something like that, and like I walked to the grocery store and walked back.
Yeah.
And like it's things where it's like it's really you against you versus like,
Mm.
if you're in acting and you want to take some acting so you want to take some acting classes, like don't even like get about like the age thing. Say like there's adult acting classes and you're a kid and you literally can't make the age bracket, that's literally something against you that you can't control.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like there's way more variables. I think you have to be a lot more disciplined because you're dealing with a lot more varying differences in acting than you are being fit.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's not difficult in its own right. Happen to be I happen to not have any medical conditions that hold me back from improving my body. Like I know there's people that have diabetes or asthma or scoliosis or anything like that, or
Yeah.
or maybe they're just not naturally given the like ability to be athletic, like they're not
Yeah.
coordinated or anything like that. So I happen to just not have that. So it was rather easy for me to stay dedicated because there wasn't a huge amount of obstacles for me to begin with. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, even if I did have those obstacles, I would like to think that I would still be dedicated enough to do it, knowing that it was just me against me instead of me against all these other factors in acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. So you've worked with a lot of people. If you could collaborate with anyone, who would be at the top of your list?
Oh, who do you think I'm going to say?
Oh, I already know. His name begins with an A.
It does begin with an A,
There we
yeah.
go.
Oh,
Come
Yeah,
on, Jennifer.
woo!
Get back on planet Earth. You okay?
yeah. No,
I don't know,
he's
Anthony.
there was one guy that I did interview a couple weeks ago actually that I wanted to work with again. I wanted to work with Kiki actually.
Ah, he's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to work with Kiki, and then I went to China and I worked with Kiki. So I was like, oh, okay, great.
Oh.
I worked with Kiki now. So, but for Anthony, it was so brief, and I know that he's such an expansive actor for himself. The role that he was given in our production wasn't like the most expansive one. It was kind of like, it was the minuscule villain one that was kind of too like aggressive with the women. So there wasn't really
Yeah.
a lot for him to pull from. I would love to work with him in a role where I can see him like actually like develop as like the actor that he is and like show what he's got.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I agree. So, last question. I know we've been rambling for too long. What impact do you hope your work has on younger actors or creators who look up to you?
I mean, I'm going to keep doing more, and I'm going to keep making more progress and being seen. I'm going to keep creating. I'm going to start creating content and putting myself out there. But it's just like specifically in the acting area, it's such a wall you have to climb. And of course, this is like the right place, right time for me. I happen to be lucky enough to fit the vertical persona that they look for casting.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no connections in this industry. I'm an only child betting his dream on one of the most unbalanced things that you can in life.
Yep.
And it's all just on my belief in myself and my hope and willpower. So, of course, there was situations in life that I've been given where I've been more fortunate enough to stand off with. Like I only lived like 8 hours away from LA. So it's not like I lived in like Europe or anything like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
Yeah.
just to know, just so that kids can know that you don't have to be given the perfect standings to do something that seems crazy. And you don't have to be 100% confident or secure in yourself or in your life to do something that's completely out there. Because I mean, believe it or not, the best things that happen in your life are when you do things that you're not sure of.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So now we've got the questions out of the way. Now we're going to do the two truths and a lie. What we're
Currently,
going to
I
do
am in the
is,
lead.
yes, just by one.
3-2.
But yes,
I have pet live dolphins and rode a humpback whale in one day.
Okay. Interesting.
I have lost function in my leg for over a month.
Okay.
And I have been in a severe car crash that left a lot of people injured.
Interesting.
do
These
you
are
have
cool.
dark humor?
Oh, that's no fun if I tell you that.
He hangs around Anthony. Of course, he has to have a
I
little
know,
twist
I
towards it.
know. That's why I'm like saying, like, um, now the leg, are you talking about now? Like you lost function in your leg now? I think that's what you said.
Can you ask for hints?
No, we're not meant to.
I know. I thought, yeah, I thought you'd fall for it.
That's a nice try though.
Um, yes.
Okay, I think you
Um,
did get in a car crash.
Okay.
I think that's true. I'm debating about the. You said you rode a whale, like you physically was on it.
Mm-hmm.
you can't ask for hints here.
No,
Uh,
I'm asking him what he said.
oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
better
say
than
now
we
asking.
get
for my leg, by the
we
way.
I'm sorry.
But she asked for now. I didn't say now for my leg.
okay. See, we get very serious about these games. As you can see,
Oh,
we're
you're
very
totally
considerate.
fine.
Yeah, because it's a competition between me and her, and I gotta win.
Exactly. I'm gonna say I think it's the leg. I don't think you've lost or ever lost function in your
I
leg.
think it's the whale. It's just weird riding a whale. Seriously,
You think that's the lie?
I think the lie is the whale.
I think
I'm
it's the
probably
leg.
wrong, but okay.
It's the leg. Okay. No, it is the whale.
Knew it, sucker. 4-2. That's what's up. How the fuck can you ride a freaking whale? That don't make sense. All right,
Hey,
so
I
please
have seen
explain.
some. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, I did. So I was actually. It was actually the same day I decided I liked acting. Actually. Um, no, I had a really expansive aquatic journey that day. So the morning started off with walking on the beach, and these sea turtles started hatching under the sand, and so we saw like all these little baby sea turtles at the beginning of
Oh,
the day.
okay.
And then we went to the ship and started doing the Pirates of the Caribbean cruise to an island. And the island, you either chose to go up into the mountains on horseback, or you chose to stay into the beach and like have a beach day. I chose to do the beach day. and I got like rocked by a lot of waves, like a lot. But like, um, then we went onto a boat to go scuba diving and go snorkeling and stuff like that. And before we went onto the boat, it had to have been about like the length of the boat had to have been about 40 to 50 feet. And there was a manta ray that was swimming under the water with a wingspan of the size of the boat, of the length
Oh
of the boat.
wow.
And we could see the shadow. And it was so massive, we could see the dark shadow under the water
Oh
just
wow.
moving and stuff like that. And it was like for me, I was 11. It was like a dinosaur. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and then we took a water taxi back to the main island, which it was just a water taxi, just like a little speedboat that's like a taxi, where live dolphins did actually swim up against the boat, and I got to pet one of them. And oh, I did forget about the whale. So before we left for the water taxi, the whale's real. I just didn't write it, but yeah, that was a lie
The
there.
writing part was the obvious giveaway, but go ahead.
Yeah. I was actually on a banana boat, like the things that get drugged behind,
Yeah.
drugged behind boats and everything. And we were sitting out in the water, stalling in the water. I can't remember if the boat was stalling or if we were just sitting out in the water. But regardless, like 3 humpback whales came out of the water about like 100 meters away from me, and they started doing their whole like little whale thing and spurting and doing
Yeah.
all that and stuff like that. So that was just like a cool little interaction. I didn't write it, but basically that was my little sea adventure day where I was like, I saw turtles, I got to pet a dolphin, the manta ray, all the whales and stuff like that, and I found out that I wanted to be an actor. So it was a great day.
No, absolutely. So if you don't mind explaining the other two.
Yeah, of course. The leg, I was playing hide and go seek in the dark, and I was like, I'm very competitive. I'm very competitive. So my friend was not touching me like at all, and but I looked back at like the wrong time. We were inside of a building in a dark room, basically, so we were just being dumb because we were also kids.
Yeah.
And I ran into a doorway, and
Uh,
because I looked back behind to see where she was and how close she was to me, and then I looked forward and I ran into a doorway, and basically where the top of your kneecap connects to the lower part of your rectus, sorry, of your
Tibula,
quadricep.
fibula,
Well,
something.
your rectus femoris, it's like the biggest part of your
Morris.
quadricep, that like lumpy part of the muscle right there,
Mhm.
like your inner thigh. The door frame was metal, and slashed into that area. And basically, what the doctor said is I won't be able to function with the leg for about a month from now. I can use it, like I can still stand on it and put a little bit of pressure, but I can definitely not walk on it, run on it, or work it out for about a month. And he told me if at that point in my life, if I did not have that developed muscle there, because I think it happened when I was like 17 or 16, if I didn't have the developed muscle that I already had, I would have lost complete motor function in my leg. Like it would have been dead from the dead from my leg down.
Ooh, that's not good, brother.
I know, trust me, that would have cut my vertical days short. But
Yeah.
and then the third one was I wasn't driving, but it was one of my exes, and she was like very emotional at the wheel. Definitely shouldn't have been, and definitely was not in the right state of mind to be driving, and ran a red light through a really busy intersection. And then we got like the back end of our car got hit. We spun out and hit like a bunch of other cars, and it caused like a little thing there.
yeah.
I hope no
Wow.
one got.
That'll do it.
I hope everyone's okay from that.
I'm assuming so. Yeah. We didn't. Yeah, I'm assuming so. So I didn't check back with everybody, but they also didn't question me too much because I was not the one in the driver's seat.
Good. Passenger princess 1, driver 0.
It has its perks. Definitely has its perks.
Absolutely. Well, to everyone who has guessed that crazy riding whale to be the lie, congratulations to you guys. And, this is why we do the two truths and a lie, because before we air the interview, we have this segment on where you say what the two truths and a lie are, and people are gonna they guess what it is. So it's kind of interesting to see how it plays out. So congratulations to all of you who got it right. Now, I have the rapid fire. Whenever you're ready, man.
I'm good. Let's go.
Okay. Books or TV?
Books.
Roller coaster or water slide?
Water slide.
What's on what's one acting slash directing ritual that you swear by?
I swear by. Don't mess
Yeah.
up my lines.
Okay. Live without music or without movies?
Oh. I'm not gonna be able to decide this one. Not gonna lie, just pass that. I can't make that.
Okay. Weekend getaway or long vacation?
Long vacation.
Most underrated film you've worked on?
Carpe Diem on Amazon Prime.
Protein shake or pre-workout?
That's funny. I know this is for me. Protein shake.
Custom for you, man. Aesthetic physique or athletic physique?
Athletic physique.
Mm. Gym crush or gym gains?
Gym gains.
What's your dream production team?
Dream production team.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever worked on Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that was a good one. Salad or sandwich?
Sandwich. Sandwich.
Score or soundtrack?
Score.
Musical you know by heart?
The Greatest Showman.
Dress up for a date or keep it casual?
Dress up.
Game you're unbeatable at?
Can you do that again?
A game that you are unbeatable at?
Brawl Stars.
Okay. Search. Do you want your search history leaked or your private messages leaked?
Probably private messages. Yeah, I think I
Okay.
do legit based on my search history.
Dinner date or Netflix and chill?
Good dinner date.
Okay. Eyes or lips?
Eyes.
Fandom you join in a heartbeat?
Fandom I joined. Supernatural.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Show him Jensen Ackles. Show him Jensen Ackles.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
Public breakup or text breakup?
Public breakup.
Movie you'd reboot and star in?
The Departed.
Okay. Kiss your enemy or hug your ex?
Well, I don't have an enemy. I don't have an enemy. Does this
Or
is this
someone
done
who's very okay, kiss someone who's very ugly and you just met, or hug your ex?
Yeah, I don't really hold grudges, so I guess my hug my ex.
Okay. Childhood toy or game that you miss as an adult?
Game that I miss.
Sweet lover or passionate lover?
Passionate.
Okay. Timer went off. I have 3 more. I'm going to finish it. If you could add one plot twist to your life, what would it be?
Oh, then I'm adopted. No.
Anthony, you're taking over this interview.
Nah, that I lost my memory of my previous life.
Ooh, that's nice.
Ooh.
So, would you save a loved one or 100 strangers?
No, that's a specific one. Wait, what are the strangers like? Point like, are they significant?
I guess it's like 100 vertical actors.
Loved one.
Loved one. Okay. Oh, okay. Last one. Follow your heart. Sorry, follow your head or follow your heart.
Head.
Very nice. Well, I would like to open the floor for you to ask us any questions at this time if you have any.
Yeah, how did you guys get into like verticals? Like both of you.
So I've said this 1,000 times, I feel like. So I'll make it very brief. I was doing my master's in 2024. I was doing my MBA and I needed something to de-stress. I couldn't watch a series because each time I would take a break and I'd study, I think, oh, did Lucas get with Candace? Just an example.
Okay.
So these ads came on, what do you call it? The verticals. I caved in first ever vertical was The Double Life of My Billionaire Husband with Jared Harper. And ever since then, I just, saw that these are short, snappy, quick stress relief, an hour long. I can move on with my life, continue studying. That was me.
Right.
Um, Mine was I basically so one of the things that I like is like some of the things like I'm a book reader and I like things like The Summer I Turned Pretty. I like Pulp Mia, things like that. Well, when I found um there was a vertical called Call Me Alpha. It had Seth Adine in it. And I watched that, and it was straight to the point. There was no subplots. It was a romance. It was exactly what I wanted to watch. Um, and ever since I watched that, um, I just loved it. I just realized that like these verticals, they were just cut to the chase. It was like, if I want to watch a romance, I'm gonna get romance. I'm not gonna get all these little subplots like, the parents dealing with children or, this friend over here. It was just cut to the chase. It was, a romance or
Hmm.
comedy, whatever.
You don't need it. Sometimes you just want something simple, something sweet and simple.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So,
Absolutely.
oh,
And
yep.
then, so what? If you guys could live a vertical plot line, what would you want to live?
Oh.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. You know what? I'm gonna be bold with this, and I'm gonna take a revenge one.
Okay.
Maybe because of how I'm feeling right now. I have a lot of things going in the back of my head.
That's some
I'm just
spicy.
like, you know what? If I could slap a aura, I'd go ahead and I'd do it, and
Oh
I
man,
wouldn't
you're in
suffer.
Hollywood, right? And they need to cast you for
I'm
that. I'd
sorry.
love that. You're in Hollywood, right? They need to cast you. I'd love to see that.
I actually have a script that is very detailed, vertical style, and if you'd like to read it one day, I'll definitely send it to you.
Yeah, I love reading scripts. It's like a little. It's getting to know. It's getting to know somebody without like actually talking to them. In my opinion,
Yeah, a lot of plot twists in it.
looking forward to it then.
We love that. Yeah,
Maybe
anything with
going
Mark
back to
Arthur
high
Herman in
school.
it. There you go. Yeah, go back to high school, and Mark Arthur Herman can
Yeah,
be your teacher.
go.
I know you too well.
Anyway, but no, yeah, go back to high school without the bullying though, because I'd be the kind of girl that would be like, if, if I was being bullied, I'd be the one that was sticking up for myself, being, standing right up to them. So yeah, that'd probably be what I
But
would
the thing is,
do.
I have yet to seen a high school movie without any bullying. There's always bullying in them. It's the main plot. Like, oh,
Usually,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if you could escape that, especially with the verticals.
tell me about it. And then they be casting some guys in there that look, they're not a 16 to 18-year-old. Like,
I
who
know they're
the
like
hell are you trying to
Riverdale
fool?
stuff, right? Ugh.
Yeah, like, come on, man. No, just no.
Well, because they still like when they're doing the act, when they're doing like the high school verticals and stuff like that. Like I'm too physically built, and like I have too like a definition to be in the high school ones, but they still want guys that are like 6'1" and up, and like the guys that like, and they want them to still have like the definition of musculars. So the only way you're gonna get that is a guy that's like at least in their like 23, 20, 22,
Yeah,
24, like that type of area and stuff like that. And it's like they might have the baby face, but their body and like
Yeah.
how they carry themselves will not be teenagery.
yeah. That's why
So
Chris
I have a question
Quashutio, he
though.
does so many of those.
So when are we going to see you in a vertical where you have gray hair? That seems like the big
Ah,
thing right now.
hell no, hell no.
Where they're putting like they're taking people that are clear like actors that are clearly
Well,
like
that's just real
not old.
shorts.
No, no,
Who
no.
else has been doing
It
it?
Oh
was
no,
I
I
think
actually
I
did
think
one
it's
of
a
those.
drama.
So
Did you?
basically, they have actors like Tim Stein and Jesse Morales and a few others where they're dyeing their hair gray to make them look
To
older.
make
Oh,
them
Nick
older.
Puya, he also did one or
Yeah.
two, and I'm just like, I mean, yeah, you're kind of pulling it off, but like, no, like, just no. They had to give creases to Jesse, and I was like, you're giving extra folds of like achy makeup, and I'm just like, it's disgusting. No.
I did that one for I wasn't available for the reprise of it, but it's like Duke's Masked Bride, or is that it's like that's what it's called. I did the trailer for it when they were, because they did a English version, like a British version where they were talking like this pretty much,
Oh
but
yes.
that didn't go over well with like the market, so they were rebranding it as just an American version. And I actually was the butler who takes care of the girl with the scarred face at the beginning. She gets scarred from like her parents because they're abusive and they're just horrible people.
Yeah.
But I'm her, like her only friend basically that takes care of her. But as she ages up, like 20 years, I'm then supposed to be 20 years older. So they gave me like a little gray wig and they made me like all gray and stuff like that. But it was just a trailer, and I wasn't available for when they actually reshot it. So I'm not like in that one, but no, I've done something like that. You know, it's just cast someone who's older, or like,
Exactly.
or just cast, or if you're doing like a time jump, like sure, cast me for the younger one, and then cast the
Yeah,
older me for the older one. Like, I mean,
Ah,
exactly.
I don't know. It's a lot of things in verticals. It's ease of comfort or access for the producers, pretty much, and it's like, because like the thing that like a lot of people don't see in like the background of like verticals, they're very stringent with their budgets. Very stringent with their budgets. Like it's not a lot of wiggle room at all for the budgets areas.
mhm.
So like the producers are always like stressed, like nobody's business. Like it's, and then they're usually stressed in Hollywood, but they like,
Yeah.
it's very systematic for these verticals, like because they're so quick and stuff like that. Like you don't get time to
Yeah.
like chill out. Even when
No.
they're done, you don't get time to chill out. So it's like, it's honestly just like I think they compromise some type of things that are like, I feel like you could have done that a little bit better for like ease
Yeah.
of access, for like, or ease of mind for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me twist it on you. Would you play? I know you're not being the cougar, but would you play in a cougar film? Like you're the your
The
love
older,
interest is a no, you're the younger boy. Uh,
oh yeah, I was going to do one of those, but it was like a BDSM one.
oh no.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
That's
so
the
I was
thing in
like,
verticals right now.
yeah, no, I know. Trust me, I know. So
An older woman, and then they're adding BDSM in that. Oh God. Good
yeah, so I
luck.
was like yeah, no. And then
Yes.
it was like I was supposed to do like my Billionaire Callboy or something like that. That's what it was supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be, something
Oh,
like that. And I was like, I no, I no. Like some other guy can do it. There's a lot of pretty guys my age that can do that, but I ain't doing that. There's two things I try to avoid: BDSM and abusing the female leads. That's
yeah.
like
Very
that's
good.
what I tried to avoid the most, because it's
That's your
just like,
boundaries.
yeah, it's just it doesn't feel good to do. It doesn't feel good to do either of those.
Mhm. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for coming on the Vertical Take, Mr. Silva. For the rest of you that have made it to the end of this very long interview, thank you very much for staying on. Yes, we did derail, but hey, it's our show. We can do whatever that we want. No one's doing anything to us. I will link all of your, Instagram, socials, IMDb in the description box below. And until next time, peace.